Hey, you guys, and welcome to my June wrap-up as well as my June #AYEARATHON wrap-up. And the #AYEARATHON theme for that month was finish / catch up on a series. And yes, I actually followed the theme for that entire month. Be proud of me. I'll link the #AYEARATHON down below if you guys want to go check it out, as well as anything that I mentioned today. I'll link the books down below that I read. So let's go ahead and get started, because of course most of the books that I read, I either don't have the physical copy with me or I bought them on my Kindle. So the first book that I read, There Will Be Questions, is Pounded in the Butt by my book, Pounded in the Butt by my own book. Yes, this was a sequel to Pounded in My Butt by my own butt. It was weird, and I'll leave a link down to my video, #AYEARATHON wrap up, where I talked about it a little bit, as well as the review that I made that's really spoilery, so you can pretty much get the whole thing going down in there. This one actually I read from my Kindle Unlimited, and by the time that I read it, then it was over for the month Kindle Unlimited. So then I didn't have enough time to like write down all the quotes and stuff and do a proper review, as it were. So I'll just tell you what it was about. It was about this guy, Chuck Tingle. I believe Chuck Tingle is the author as well as the main character in this book, and he's being sued by his book for like for like half like the royalties of the book, because he's doing most of the book. Oh, I forgot, in this world that was created, the book is sentient. I know it was all a bunch of crazy, messed up, funny mess. Once again, Chuck Tingle, if you ever look through his library of books on GOODREADS, I'll link his author page down below. But it is just full of crazy, random, weird books. Just, that is it. Just bizarro, just no. So it's good for a laugh, not something you can take seriously, but he does have good writing and coming up with interesting storylines that kind of work from the two books that I've read, it seems. And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I actually kind of liked it. Moving on from that, the next book that I read was Trust by Ella Frank, and this is the third and final book in the Temptation series. The first 2 books are Try and Take, and I absolutely positively love them. 5 out of 5 stars, and I really did love Trust because I love Logan, I love Tate, and at this point, how could I not want more of them? But I don't feel it was as up to par as the first 2. This one was a little bit below it in terms of how the writing flowed and like the story and stuff, I think. But if you love the first 2, you're definitely gonna like this one. There are 1 or 2 odds and ends that I was like, okay, maybe more, maybe less of that, and you know, just some things. But overall, I still loved it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Of course, I know that I wasn't the only one feeling that way, but I know that in general, when it comes to the third book, everyone seems to be disappointed in the second, but I don't know, when something ends, it's like sometimes it's not that satisfactory for me. I just never want anything to end is my problem. The next book that I read is not a book, it's an issue from The Wicked and the Divine, and I'll show you the cover that usually goes on the single comic issues. And it's right here. I love this cover, seriously. I love all the covers that they have, but I actually did a review on it, so I'll link all 3 reviews for all 3 issues down below. They're basically spoiler free unless you haven't read the previous issue. So first one is safe for everyone, the second and third one at your own risk. But basically it's just this series about how 12 gods are reincarnated every 90 years, and they live for a little while, and they're worshipped and loved, and then, you know, then they go away. So it's interesting to see how it's happening again. And then the next and final book that I read for the #AYEARATHON portion in that week was Surviving the Biker by Cassie, Alexandra, and this is the sequel. Well, I forgot what the first book is, but I'll link it down below because it's free on the Kindle, which is how I discovered the series, and then I went ahead and pre-ordered this, so I was so excited. It's a motorcycle romance story, and I would put it on the easy to like mild spectrum of like motorcycle clubs. There's some language and, you know, the treatment of women, but in terms of like sexy times, from what I can remember, they're, I don't know, I would put it easy to mild, so for most people, so that's how I'll explain it. But in this one, it's a continuation of the first couple, Adriana and Rapture, and I didn't necessarily feel like we really needed their particular story as a couple to be told over 2 stories, but okay, I mean, I guess we got to see more character development, which is good. We got to see them spend some more time together. Adriana, however you want to pronounce her name, was a little like, I mean, it was really kind of good to see like a relationship with her mom involved, I guess, but I felt like it could have been put in the first book, and some of the events that happened in this book could have been done with like a different couple at the forefront, if you know how these books work, because the next 2 books are going to follow different couples, I believe, but you know, still in the same world and stuff like that. But hey, I really enjoyed this book, gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and just, I do recommend it. If the first one is your thing, you'll probably like the other ones. And then last but not least, that month I read Gray by E.L. James. Is that a surprise? No, I do actually own the physical copy, and surprisingly I don't own the Kindle copy, because the 2 times that I saw it on sale, I resisted. Be happy for me. But I do own the physical copy, which I had bought like right away when it came out. I went to Walmart and everything. I was like, I'm not waiting for Amazon. And I read it in well, I read it, actually, it took me longer than I thought it would, but I was actually kind of busy too. Fan fiction. Don't judge me. But this one is 50 Shades of Grey, just from Christian Grey's point of view this time around, and I really enjoyed getting to know more about Christian and Christian's head. I felt like it was kind of what I thought it would be, like a more darker take on some stuff, I guess, because we know Christian has a lot of issues, especially we get to see more of that in book 2 and 3 in other book. Although you may have guessed it in the first book from like some snippets here and there about like his past and everything. So it's interesting to see what he was thinking. So, you know, if you're just curious, if you want to know, Gray, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. So that is all I read. Oh, I'm so glad it wasn't like the May wrap-up. There were so many books to explain. Is it shameful that I felt like that? I don't know. But you guys, if you guys by any chance remember what you read in June, let me know. Or if you guys are planning to read any of these books, let me know your thoughts down below. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.